Hello, collegiate Dota fans. Welcome back. Week 3, do we have a game for you? Today, your game will be casted by myself, Carlton, and my main man, Ricky. What's going on, Ricky? I cannot wait. This is going to be a sick match. So, who do we have? We have a team returning from the playoffs. Didn't quite make it all the way, but dang, did they make it far. And then we have, I don't really know much about this other team. Do you know anything about this other team? Ooh. What happened to the old players? Did they graduate or they get replaced? Oh, okay, I see. All right. And so yeah, unbiased caster. Well, I guess I'll root extra hard for the other boys. Just kidding, we're both unbiased. Well, it looks like we're gonna get straight into the game. So we're gonna go to a quick slideshow. We'll pop you guys into the draft. All right, here we are in the drafting phase. The new blood and the returning monsters. So, is there any heroes that you want to see from your boys this game?
Dire team ban.
Hmm. All right. Oh, okay. I'm excited. I want to see some fun stuff coming from these guys. And honestly, with how the CSL plays, where comfort picks and such seem to dominate, um, I think a team that's gonna have fun is gonna do well. Now, one thing I want to see is I want to see some teams um, pull something that's not quite in the meta. I want to see them do something that we wouldn't normally see, and that's what I'm hoping to see from these guys. All right, one moment here, ladies and gentlemen. We're having some technical difficulties.
I'm at 3 minutes.
Five seconds remain. Dire team back.
All right, it's time for this week's COTW mashup.
Hello, everybody. We are back. What a strange time to be alive. Just me casting by myself, but now I'm back with the one, the only, Ricky R. Cryptic. And Ricky, the one thing I want to know from you is I want to know if you know anything special about New Blood Same Shitters.
10 seconds
New blood,
remaining.
same shitters. These guys, wow, what a group of guys. Am I
5
right?
What a
seconds
group.
remaining.
So I'm actually very familiar with these guys. I play for or I used to play for them, or like at
Ooh.
school
Radiant
rather,
team
several
back.
years ago.
How did you guys
Um,
do when you were on the head when you were the captain of the team?
Dire team back.
we made it to land finals,
Oh,
so we did
dang.
something. Yeah.
That's awesome. How do you think these guys are going to do this year without you?
Better than last year
Dang.
is what I would say.
Well, fair enough. Did they not do too well last year, or were they even in existence last year?
I want to say they disbanded about halfway through the season. So they kind of like our school has had Cal
5
Poly has
seconds
had
remaining.
a very consistent Division 2 team that is
Radiant
pretty
team
strong,
back.
right?
Hmm.
But their Division 1 team has always been kind of lacking after our year of graduation.
I
So
mean, you set the bar
this
pretty
is
high.
this is their
Dire
first year
team
back
back.
where they have like a somewhat legitimate team, and I think that they have potential for playoffs. Believe it or not, I think they do. I think they have playoff potential. Um, we'll see what they do,
Ah,
but
okay. Well, I hope they
yeah.
do well. And now, what do you expect? Do you think it's be pretty fun to watch them? I also just realized I have the bug where the bands aren't showing. I don't know if there's any way to switch that up, but we'll just deal. If there's
10
anything crazy,
seconds
point it out to
remaining.
me. But do you think these guys are going to
Yeah.
be very disciplined or pretty fun to watch?
5 seconds
I think
remaining.
they're more of a fun group of people.
Okay,
I think
I
Lloyd
love that.
is he's definitely the
Radiant
best player on
team
their
back.
team. And
Dang, bias caster for both the team and the players.
I mean he's Divine Four. Like he's a good
Dang,
player,
he's the man.
right?
What
Yeah, he's a
position
good
does he
player.
play? Do you know?
I think he'll be playing mid lane most
All
likely
right,
for
I'll be
Cal
Radiant
watching out
Poly.
team
for him.
pick.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
First pick's coming out here soon though.
Oh, let's see
Hey,
what
tell
they.
me, what do you know about Davis though?
I
Like you know
actually
a few of
met
these
them
players,
at the
right?
CSL event. Yeah, they are so much fun. I love these guys. They're hilarious. I just absolutely dominated every one of them at Smash, but just like they absolutely dominated almost everyone all the way through the year. They made it all the way to the LAN
10
finals where
seconds
they
remaining.
lost to the current champions RIT, but these guys are no laughing matter.
5
And
seconds remaining.
I know they've made upgrades to their team since then. They've all been practicing. These guys play quite a bit. They also have two players named Biology, and I don't
That
like
should be fun. That's not
that.
gonna be
Radiant
confusing at all,
team
right?
back.
Definitely just gonna be just a walk in the park, Ricky. So we'll have to figure out how to keep track of that. Chocobo's a
Yeah.
returning player, and one of the biologies is, and I'm not sure if it's Biology Freak or the other player named Biology.
Yeah. So I mean, we can avoid this confusion here,
All
right?
right.
Let's start it out. So we got biology,
Mm-hmm.
and then
10
there's biology
seconds
freak.
remaining.
All right.
To make it easy, let's just call this guy
5
B
seconds
freak.
remaining.
You know,
Yeah. Yep.
be
Similar.
easy.
B
I mean, we're
Fridge.
kind of there's a name in the
Radiant
industry
team
already.
pick.
Yep. Just
He's
similar
just
to,
higher
to
in the
Z
alphabet.
Freak.
Maybe that makes him a better player. I don't know.
I like it. Speaking of things that we like, there's a tree, but there is a lich. Now, if you guys did not know, my man right here with me, Ricky, Divine Ricky to you, recently won a
Wow.
game on Lich, putting him up a weight class. What do you think about Lich, Ricky?
10
Lich is a
seconds
strong
remaining.
hero, and I think Cal Poly's taken a little chapter out of my own book
I
5
love
here.
seconds
that.
remaining.
I think they I think a lot of teams really underestimate Lich right now. I
Yeah,
think he's I think he's busted to say the least, but
really.
um,
Well, what
I
do you
don't think
think about Tree?
he's
Do
the
you think
most
Tree's even
powerful.
more busted since he got first picked?
In good hands, Treant Protector is very strong. I think if you have a very Treant Protector is one of those heroes that needs a very organized team for
Yeah,
him to be like really like
better and
powerful.
competitive than in pubs.
Oh, by far.
Okay. Those heroes are
10
Um,
always so much fun
seconds
to watch. I'm
remaining.
excited to see what the Aggies do with it, especially a team that's proven to be quite
Dire
skilled.
team
So
ban.
what is Tree's role? Like, so for example, let me ask you, as you're a Lich main nowadays, Lich's role, would you say, is to dominate his lane? That's his biggest part. Like he does more than that. Obviously, he's great in team fights. He provides armor. But his main like role, the reason you pick Lich is to dominate a lane. Would you say that's correct?
yeah. You typically he pairs
10
really well with a
seconds
lot of the
remaining.
meta offlaners, right?
Hmm.
So unfortunately we can't see these
5
bans, which
seconds
is really
remaining.
sad. But I'm sure there's probably a Centaur ban in here somewhere.
Okay.
Um, and those types of offlaners
Radiant
like Axe,
team ban.
Centaur. Oh, I can see
Yeah, I
Silence
can
here
see
for sure.
that. I can see
So
that.
that's
What's going on?
yeah, I
Weird.
don't know. So he pairs really well with those types of meta offlaners who are just very difficult to deal with in lane to begin
Oh,
with.
like
And then
Tiny,
once you start,
maybe.
yeah, potentially Tiny. It's, yeah, absolutely. Tiny, I think, isn't as strong because he's a zero armor hero, right? And
10
pretty
seconds
slow,
Would
so
Lich
he can
remaining.
level
get.
ice armor to help a hero like Tiny out or Doom?
I don't think you can.
5
You think
I
you gotta
think
get
a
the other
lot. You
seconds.
spells?
have to
Team ban.
go. You have to go 202 in
Ah,
order to like be effective in your lane.
okay. But Lich is a hero that's just gonna own his lane,
Ideally,
or
yeah.
should,
If
yeah.
played properly, he should
And
win his lane
and if
and
Tree's played properly, what does he do in the laning phase?
prevents your lanes from losing,
Oh,
right?
so he's gonna
So
help. He's gonna help every lane a little bit, where Lich is gonna help one lane a lot.
yeah,
Radiant
that's
team
the
ban.
idea. Oh, there's your Centaur ban. Okay,
Hey,
so it wasn't banned yet, but that's actually a very important ban from the Aggies. I think if they let that through, you're going to see Cal Poly Slow pick that up immediately.
for sure. Yeah, with the Lich Centaur combo you were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
All right, so
Yeah,
so Phoenix, is he a support Phoenix or core Phoenix? Do you think? Do people ever run core
probably
Phoenix?
support. I think it's probably
10
support. I think
seconds
the hero
remaining.
just like still offers a lot from the support role no matter what, right?
5
Yeah,
seconds
But
remaining.
if you play him from a core role, he can be pretty powerful. It's just I don't think you need to,
yeah. You think he's fine?
right?
He
I
just
think
needs to he just needs to hit his buttons. He doesn't need to have items too.
yeah, I think you just get what you need from the support role.
Okay. And now, what do you feel? How do you feel about the support role of Treant and Phoenix together? That's it's lacking stuns, for example.
Yeah. One combo that we do see pretty often is the egg into overgrowth.
Oh
So you kind of
yeah, combining their
bait the
alts.
egg out, and your treant just sits there invis. So
Radiant
they kind of
team
like
pick.
run in to kill the egg, right? And then you get a
Hmm.
huge overgrowth.
And you can't
And
attack when you're overgrowth, so you can't deal with the egg.
exactly. So
That's a really strong
I'm sure
combo.
we're gonna see that at least once in this game. It's a great combo. I don't think they synergize too well, other than that.
Overgrowth, Sunray, but I guess you'd rather have egg save for it.
Yeah, yeah. I
And then
think
fire spirits don't stack with overgrowth either. You don't want to have an attack
10
slow on someone who
seconds
can't attack.
remaining.
yeah. So I think
Okay.
overall, I think one's like a more of your
5
defensive,
seconds
like
remaining.
pretty safe support, and then Phoenix, as we know, is a pretty aggressive, kind of greedy support,
Yeah.
but both great at team fighting. So we'll see what they do. I think they're safe. I just don't think we'll see if Cal Poly can come up with an idea on how to deal with them. They need an egg killer for sure.
Yeah. Tiny, obviously not a very good egg killer. He hits really hard, but he has a really slow attack speed.
Yep.
Um,
You can kill the Phoenix, but not once she hits egg.
exactly, because egg you have
Dire
is an
team
auto
pick.
attack amount of HP, not a damage amount. Ooh, and there's a Bane. That's
Bane.
actually another strong laner. Lots of strong laners this game. What
I mean, that's the meta, right? Two
Yeah,
on two, win your lanes, win the game.
yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Do well early, get this foundation going. What do we expect to see from Tiny? So Tiny in lane, really hard to deal with because he can
10
harass you
seconds
every time he
remaining.
swings his tree, deny or last hit. So he's smacking
Yep.
you as well. He's gonna shove
5
your lane.
seconds
He has
remaining.
huge damage output in the mid game, and his blink dagger kind of just lets him take the game over for a couple minutes before the other team can deal with them.
Yeah, if Tiny gets ahead, he is actually very scary. Because your Phoenix is a very low HP hero,
Hmm.
despite being, you know, I
If
mean,
you
she's
can't
a
cast
strength
the egg,
hero,
it doesn't
right?
help
Like,
you.
yeah, you can't actually like get egg off.
Hmm.
So Tiny pretty good at doing that, but if she does get egg, it doesn't really favor him. I think Tiny in general is just one of the safer early picks in a draft.
Hmm.
You like all the things you just listed, right? Should just prove the hero is very good.
Yeah.
So just getting him into a draft, there's a lot of things you have to consider going against the hero.
Yeah, he puts a lot of pressure on the other team because they can't let him have a good game, and especially with a support which we talked about like Lich, which almost ensures a strong early game, and Bane, which is another strong hero in the early game because Bane makes it difficult for the enemy to last hit. It's very hard to trade with him because he drains your life and takes it for himself. He has insane
Ooh.
stat game. 2.2 for every stat each level, so he
Yeah.
hardly needs items, and he can set up kills for heroes like Tiny, who just need to walk in melee range to kill you. So it looks like Tiny's probably going to have a pretty easy game. Um, but both teams are kind of shy for stuns. There's only really Avalanche and
10
Overgrowth, which
seconds
requires
remaining.
Yeah.
Lich, and I guess the Boulder Throw from Panda. What do you think about
Yeah.
Panda? I love this hero
5
because
seconds
it's a
remaining.
hero you can't just give to anyone. You need to have a player. It's like a finesse hero. It's kind of like how you're talking about Tree. What do you think of
Yeah,
Panda?
absolutely. I think it's really good against Tiny. He's very, very, very good against Tiny. Tiny relies so much on last hitting with his tree, and you just drunken haze him,
Right.
and then you just click him. And
Dire
Brewmaster does a
team
pretty substantial amount of physical damage.
Hmm.
Ooh, Morphling. So
Hello.
Brewmaster does a pretty substantial amount of physical damage to Tiny, who's a 0 armor hero. So the matchup actually isn't bad for Brewmaster in any way. I think depending on skill level, Brewmaster might be able to push the Tiny out of lane, but once Tiny gets his like level 3, level 4, level 5, then it starts tilting toward Tiny's
10
favor because you
seconds
can
remaining.
you can blow up the Brewmaster with like a +1.
Oh
5
yeah.
But
seconds remaining.
Yeah, Brewmaster kind of like Phoenix does have to get his ult off, and Tiny is a hero that kind of kills people really quick.
mhm. Luckily, late game you'll never
Yeah,
burst the Brewmaster like that again.
and worst
But
case, they can get an A on disc.
exactly. I think we'll probably see that this game out of the Phoenix.
Oh yeah. Um,
How do you feel about Morphling?
I think I
I
love this
don't
hero,
know how like.
but the problem is I love it when Arteezy plays it, and I don't like it when anyone else plays it. That's like it's just like he set the bar. Arteezy set the bar so high on how to play
Radiant
Morphling
team
that it's like it
best.
just isn't. It hasn't done it for me to watch anyone else play it. But I still
Okay.
love seeing it because I'm waiting. I'm waiting for someone to impress me the same way Arteezy does because this hero has so much potential. And maybe they won't play a perfect game, but even just one perfect fight, and this hero is just it's what Dota is as its heart, just owning someone. Like when you own someone with Morphling, you own them, whether it be shotgun or whether it be you taking their
10
hero, beating them
seconds
with their own
remaining.
spells. I
Yeah,
just think
that's like the
that's
most
what
demoralizing thing when someone
5
right
outplays
seconds
you
remaining.
on
even
like
ground
your own hero
essentially,
as a Morphling, and you're like, damn.
right? And you see that with like heroes like Pudge, where they dodge the hook and then hook you back, and I just think that's hilarious.
I see the Morphling picked into
Dire
Ember
team
Spirits all the
best.
time, and that is hilarious to me. They just
Oh
like
yeah, because Ember
transform
sucks
into the
against Root.
Ember, yeah, and he just like owns them.
And now, do you tell me what you think about Zeus?
This Zeus pick's really good.
He's a good
It's
hero.
really good.
He's just a good hero overall,
It's so good against Morphling.
right?
Oh my
Because Morphling
god.
wants to have low health, and Zeus just puts
Yeah.
that damage out very easily.
Early game, it just makes Morphling's
10
ability to
seconds remaining.
farm through the early mid game worse in
Mhm.
every way.
5
Like because you
seconds
have to just
remaining.
sit at about 600 more HP,
Yeah,
right?
I love that.
Or you have the potential of getting bursted.
Right, because Morphling can
Um,
turn his max HP into essentially farm speed. As he converts strength to
yeah,
agility, he farms a lot faster. And he can't convert as much because Zeus can blow him up at any instant.
yeah. If you're walking around the jungle with
Dire
600,
team
700
best.
health, Zeus just walks up and blows, like literally kills your hero, blows
That's
you
the
up.
end of it. Um,
It's also once you see Aghanims, you'll see the Nimbus coming out to stop Bane ult.
what a
The
powerful
Fiend
spell.
Script stuff. Yeah, it's just Nimbus is something else to say the least.
Yeah, and even without Nimbus, Zeus is a spammable form of interrupt because there's a mini stun on his lightning bolt. So he's a low
10
cooldown spell
seconds
that interrupts
remaining.
Fiend's Grip.
Yep.
However, Fiend's Grip is the least
5
of Zeus's
seconds remaining.
worries. Zeus doesn't really have the highest health pool, and there's still the Tiny on the other team. So of all the
Yep.
four heroes on the Aggies, Zeus is the tastiest by far. So Zeus is gonna have to play around Tiny, looking at him all game once he gets Blink Dagger.
Yeah, Zeus might want to be picking up some more HP and mobility items this game. I think
Hmm.
we'll see. We'll see what he does.
Because I don't even
I
think
think
you
we'll
can.
see like an Ags and a Blink. I like Ags, Aether, and Blink Dagger is
Yeah.
probably what we'll end up
Radiant
seeing on the
team
Zeus.
pick.
Oh yeah. Ooh,
Faceless
boy.
Void.
That's a hero that can kind of fight people because it's not a real fighter yet. Because Panda's going to blink in, he's going to clap, maybe he'll do a couple auto attacks, but he wants to go into his ult, which isn't going to tank a fight. Phoenix is going to be in her egg, Treant's going to hit his R, and then he's not really going to be too deadly. Void is a hero that gets in the fight, he messes people up, but he stays in the fight
10
afterwards. And he's
seconds
going to be able
remaining.
to provide a form of initiation as well as a front line for Zeus to stand behind
5 seconds
and hopefully stop
remaining.
Tiny from blinking on him.
Absolutely. And I mean, furthermore, like what we talked about earlier is there's no egg killer, right, for Cal Poly. So they pick up Morphling, a hero that can deal with the egg, especially once you have BKB.
Yeah.
So if you're Faceless Void this game, your only objective is to Chrono Morphling, and then you get a full duration egg off in every
You're right.
fight.
What are they can't do
So-
anything. Tiny has slow attack speed, Lich and Vayne have slow attack speed.
Yeah. So like if you get a good Chrono off and you get Morphling, maybe a +1, your fight for like your team fight on Aggies,
Mhm.
you win. You
That's
win
it.
that
It's
fight.
almost guaranteed. And then like in
Yeah.
addition to
You have to seriously misplay.
yeah, and in addition to Chronosphere to deal with the morph, they also have the Cyclone from the Storm Panda,
You
and they
now
also have to
select
deal
your
with
heroes.
Overgrowth. It's this Phoenix I think is they're setting their Phoenix up really well. But there's the hero. Your main man
Oh,
Lloyd on Alchemist, their
my
best player.
favorite hero. Oh, wow. Okay. So I mean, Alchemist into Zeus is I would say is Alchemist favored
Mhm.
in almost every instance. The reason being is like you can put a lot of harass damage into Alchemist, but Zeus is not a hero that bullies him out of lane. Alchemist will still find his farm. So
Yeah.
even if you're trading farm for farm in mid lane, right? If you're trading farm for farm against an Alchemist, you're losing your lane.
Yeah, because he
So-
just gets more gold for the exact same
Exactly.
amount of farm.
10 seconds.
And he
So
also
I think
emphasizes
that's a
boundary
great last
runes.
pick.
I think Alchemist is one of the
5
scariest last
seconds
picks. I
remaining.
think he can deal with Phoenix, and I agree with everything you said. He's gonna get farmed no matter what, so he's always
Yeah.
gonna be relevant. And
Wait a
Morphling's
minute,
a
that's
hero.
a Chocobo Zeus.
Heck yes. Chocobo
So
is one
are
of the
we-
returning players.
He's typically unless he changed his role, he's been a support player.
I
So are
think
we
that sounds
seeing
right.
a Chocobo?
He's ready to captain. He
Offlane?
was not happy with his performance last year, and he's taking the reins into his own hands, and he's taking Zeus.
I actually don't know what they're
Is he
doing
core?
here.
Or maybe Phoenix is.
I feel like it's a support Phoenix, right? But
And we're just quickly transitioning in. It
it
might be.
not be.
It could
It
be an
might be a
offlane
core
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
We were talking about that earlier. All right.
Prepare for
Well,
battle.
we're into the game. So what are you thinking about these drafts? Who do you favor in here?
Ooh. Like I can't be biased, right? So for me, I would say just based off draft, I think the easier to execute strategy by far is going to be UC Davis. I think
Yeah,
team
with
fight
the
wise, you just have to hit a few good chronos in the mid game, set up to push late game, and you have to end this. This can't go late, right? You have to end this early if you're Davis.
right. Yeah, you don't want to allow a hero like Alchemist to just sit around and farm. And that's something that we're going to see Tiny actually do, is make a lot of space for his other cores. Morphling can show up to fight. Eventually, Alchemist can show up to fight, depending how he builds. But depending on how Tiny's game is, he's either going to make a lot of space or he's going to crumble. And his team's going to get overwhelmed. Well,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and introduce the players this game. So I'll go ahead, and I'm going to take the Radiant
30
team.
seconds to
On
battle.
Morphling, we have Gem Boys. Taken up on Bane, we have RTG Neon. Then we have ZZZ on Tiny, not ZZZ. Lich is being played by Agent X, and Alchemist is your main man Lloyds.
Yes, it is. And on the Dire team for UC Davis, we have Chocobo playing this Zeus. We've got Phoenix playing Phoenix. We've got B-Freak on the Treant Protector. B-Freak, none other than him. Malibu playing
The
Faceless
battle
Void in the
begins.
mid lane. We'll come back to that in a moment. And then we have the actual Biology playing Brewmaster in the safe lane. So tell me, what's going on here in this mid lane, right? Because we talked about the Zeus v Alchemist matchup isn't great for Zeus, right? It favors Alchemist pretty heavily.
Mhm.
So we kind of predict, like I think we predicted this a little bit, but now we're seeing Void actually in the mid lane against Alchemist.
Void versus well, Void. Look at the armor. 5 on Void, and then 1 on Alchemist. 3 when he's near his tower. So Void also has 63 damage, and to Alchemist 54. Void can beat this Alchemist up. Alchemist is going to have a really hard time getting for farm when Void can just be standing there beating the crap out of him. He just has much better stats. And I think they just want Void to try and bully the Alchemist out of the lane and ruin his laning phase.
Yeah, I mean, we say that he manages to secure the entire first wave of farm lane, basically.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge deal. He's played it very well. So he clearly is an experienced alchemist. He knows exactly what he wants to do with the lane, and it's a lot of pressure on Void because, apart from the fact that Void has better stats than Alchemist in lane, Void is going to sacrifice his farm, not being babysat, and Void, you said, is a key instrument to the Aegis team fight. He doesn't want to fall behind.
So let's talk about the safe lane. For Radiant, or actually is Dire? No, Dire's fine. Okay. You want to talk about Radiant safe lane here? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, there is a lot of... The thing is, Lich is going to be denying. Lich is going to do what he does. He's going to be denying, and that puts a lot of pressure on the Dire team to perform well in this lane, because if they just play passive, they're going to lose. They have to do something. Tree is going to be able to provide quite a bit of sustain, but, I mean, Lich has a lot of sustain too. It's going to be back and forth. I feel like Dire has to do something, but I don't know what they do because the Morphling Lich lineup is so strong. It's going to be a lot of pressure on Chocobo in his debut match on stream to pull something out.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about the Lich? Because I know you're a huge fan.
Yeah. I think this lane favors Radiant. I think one of the biggest things is going to come down to whether or not the Morphling kind of misplays. I think Lich needs to make sure he's staying in lane and putting the harassment in.
Should he be doing? He should be
He
pulling.
shouldn't be doing what he's doing right now. Yeah, should definitely not be pulling.
All right. We have some
That's all
action
you wanna do
going
on
on
Lich.
top though.
Yeah.
Looks like just a little bit of harass is going back and forth. Something Bane loves. Look at his Bane's item build with 3 mangoes. He's ready.
what
He's
more
just
do
here
you
to hit
need,
brain
right?
sat, man. I love that. And
Fire Spirits and Tiny feel so bad.
yeah, Tiny has an awful attack time. Checking out last hits. Void's bringing it back. Actually tying on last hits and leading on denies.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we expect, right? Void, much higher base damage, better stats. The Acid Spray is what's going to give Alchemist the ability to kind of combat that. So should allow him for easier last hitting. But, I mean, he's actually winning this lane pretty handily. Picks up a bottle, and that bottle is going to be super valuable for this Alchemist.
Right, and now is Alchemist ever going to leave the lane to pick up the bounty rune, or is he just going to leave that for his teammate to grab?
Chances are his teammates will get it. This top lane is pretty aggressive. Bane is really good at securing runes. I don't think there's really any way Brewmaster or Phoenix can contest him.
Yeah.
Mid lane actually faces Void, goes a little aggressive on Alchemist, almost dies.
Both of them very low, but Alchemist can just stand in the
Yeah.
Acid Spray, making it tough for Void to fight back.
They both salvo.
Trian actually came bottom here, and it looks like he's with all his health and mana, he's going to put a lot more harass on the enemy team. Speaking of harass, top lane, Bane gets caught out. And there's the Icarus dive. Everyone's just trading spells. It doesn't look like anyone has enough damage to finish off anybody, so it's just a war of regen. Checking it out. 1 mango on Phoenix to the 3 on Bane. Bottom lane, too. Agent Axe is getting bullied out. So Radiant's getting very aggressive up here. They're pushing everyone out of lanes. Even
This is
mid lane,
surprising.
Void's beating up Alchemist.
Yeah. I think Davis needs to, right? They need to put the pressure on in these lane stages if they want to win this. If Cal Poly gets away with this draft in the early game, they're gonna snowball mid and easily take the late game here.
For sure. Alchemist snowballs, Morphling snowballs, and Tiny snowball. So
Yeah,
and
I mean,
even
Tiny
just one of them
kinda
getting
falls
good
off
lane.
eventually, right? But there's no hero on Davis that can combat Tiny late game once he has items.
Of course. Yeah, Tiny. What items does he want to get to kind of get him online? Obviously, Blink Dagger. Is there anything else? Also, we're going to see Lich. Is this our first blood? Chocobo. There it is on the Zeus.
Yeah, looks like Lich just got a little hungry for the runes and sat there for too long, just dies.
Speaking of runes,
So
Bottom?
looks like gonna go 2 and 2, right? Bane gets both top, Chocobo gets both bottom, and Chocobo's gotta be really happy. That bottle is gonna give him back full mana, full HP.
He's ready to go again after that first blood.
It's a big deal. It's a really big deal for that lane. I think this Lich, like I said earlier, he needs to be focused on providing harassment and utility to his lane, and the pulling the lane does not help out.
He wants to take advantage of his spam, being able to spam his spells and just constantly sacrificing in range of Morphling to share the XP.
Yeah, he needs to be spamming Ice Blast and sacrificing on cooldown, and right now, I mean, his sacrifice hasn't been used in probably 3 minutes, so... And he might go down here.
Sleep
Actually,
top.
one more Lightning Bolt, that'll do it. Wow.
Wow. So definitely getting value from the bottle. Lich not getting as much value as we wanted out of the hero. Top lane, both teams are just throwing spells back and forth, whereas Alchemist is forced to retreat in the mid lane. What's going to be the breaking point top when we finally see a kill? Because they've been shooting a lot of spells at each other, but they haven't been able to finish anyone off. Chocobo the only one with a kill in the game.
Yeah, I think this is kind of what we'd expect from the Alchemist Void lane now too. We see Void start to get the level advantage, so Alchemist retreats, picks up his jungle creeps.
Void's coming top with the double damage. This might be what we need to get a kill top
Yes.
lane. Double damage, Chronosphere. There's pings coming out.
This is big. They don't have any wards, do they? To see that? No, they don't. Definitely not. Well, actually, I lied. They do have the ward on the rune there, so they gotta know he has that double damage rune.
There it is. Here we go.
Chrono.
Not doing a lot of damage, even with the double damage. Great Sunray positioning coming up from Phoenix to hit both heroes. And Tiny goes down. The opposite. Tiny wants to be the one doing the ganking, not getting ganked.
Yeah, I mean, the chrono placement was pretty good. He had Tiny pretty far on the top end, so Bane wanted to go in and Nightmare. I think he probably could have Nightmared the Tiny, but was trying to Nightmare the Void and ended up just walking into the Chronosphere. But if he had been able to get the Nightmare off, I mean, that Tiny lives. So.
Yeah, Bane is a very strong counter to Void, being able to throw Nightmare on the Void or even on his teammates, because Nightmare does come with a second of invulnerability. Lich gets caught out bottom. This is not the Lich performance that you wanted to see, is it? Does this hurt? Recently getting ranked up, becoming the Lich expert, and now you're seeing your core hero not doing so hot?
I mean, I think there is a way to understanding every hero, right? And I think they might have picked Lich knowing that he's strong, but maybe not understanding entirely why. So that's
not playing the hero to its fullest. You know, you could be sacrificing and harassing, but instead pulling. You know, if you wanted to pull creeps, maybe there was another hero they could have picked.
Yeah, I mean, you get the XP from your sacrifice. You don't need to leave the lane to go pull. Especially with Lich, one of the biggest problems you have, the reason you need to be with a strong laner, is you double up the enemy waves at level 2 and 3. So if they have a team that can just like dive you under your tower, they will just kill you. So it is a risky hero to play sometimes, depending on your lineups.
Do you think a Zeus tree is going to dive, the Treant being able to tank for the Zeus?
Absolutely. With 2 points in living armor like he has, Zeus doing 3 points in Thunderbolt, like Lightning
this
Bolt,
is a damage build.
Yeah, they have a lot of damage output, and you can see just on the Morphling, like he's morphed so heavily on strength because he doesn't have a choice. Like, he just keeps running out of regen. He's gonna have to spare himself a salve here pretty soon if he wants to be able to continue farming. Going for a first item mask, a Morbid Mask, actually, I think that is a really good idea.
Even with his inability to lower his HP due to the damage output of Zeus? Or I guess does he just walk into the jungle and hit some creeps?
Exactly that. I think he just goes jungle.
Top lane though, Phoenix gets slept, Tiny has his combo. He actually, no! Poor guy. There it is, casting some spells.
Well, you know?
Just a little bit of miscommunication. That's the kind of mistake you're probably only going to make once, but when you make it, it hurts. That could have been the kill to put them on the board.
I mean that Phoenix definitely dies there to a toss avalanche combo. He's sitting at 400 health. He takes an auto attack, avalanche toss, and the tree throw, and he goes down for sure.
Yeah, and now Tiny doesn't have enough
mana.
mana.
For Cal Poly.
Unfortunate circumstances. They have not been able to put themselves back on the board. However, Lich is taking a page. Maybe he's stream sniping. He's doing a lot more harass here, pushing B Freak out of lane. We have pings coming out top. That 3 bounty runes claimed
Dire's middle tower
by
is
the
under
Aggies.
attack.
Alchemist only received 1. It looks like we're going to see more of an effort on the bounty runes here. Especially with an Alchemist in the game. They're already a very important objective, but with Alchemist, they come even more important. Chocobo steals the haste rune bottom and is going to chase down Lloyd on the Alchemist. Tree can slow him down a little bit. Zeus doesn't know if he wants to commit the mana, though. He could use that mana for last hit, so he's just going to walk away. Morphling shows up. And
Yeah, why get
B
kills
Freak.
when you can get farm, dude?
Right? I think maybe he didn't think he could finish it off.
Is B Freak in trouble here? I mean, Bane's TPing in.
Yeah.
If he gets the sleep off, no, not
I
in
think.
time.
Oh,
Wow.
Morphling.
Just not in time.
Foreshadowing for when Morphling gets his shotgun and starts popping people, but right there, not so much. Agent X, we've seen this before, we'll see it again. Zeus takes him out bottom lane. Man, oh man, we were hyping Lich up so much, but apparently Zeus is the lane dominator.
Yeah, I mean, let Zeus get too many levels. This is ideally like if you are going even in your lane against a Zeus, that's very not ideal. Or against a Lich. Right?
Yeah,
like if you're
right, you should just be winning for free. That's just kind of like how the hero works.
Your Lich should be like level 7 right now. Your Zeus should be like level 5. That's how that lane typically goes.
Exactly, because you're stealing the range creep, the creep that has the most XP. Isn't it like 40% or 35% or something of the wave's XP? Alchemist gets caught in his jungle. If Alchemist isn't in mid lane, he's probably going to be his jungle.
Chrono coming.
Yeah.
And egg. I don't know if they're going to commit the Chrono.
Ooh,
Oh, they do.
ooh.
And
Yeah, you
egg.
do it.
All right. I don't know
You
if
don't
you
know if they're
both.
going to commit the Corono? They'll one-up you, Ricky. Oh, God. And bottom lane, Agent X is playing very slow. Or very scared. He doesn't want to deal with this Zeus. Oh, here we go. Zeus is doing a ton of damage. Chocobo. Getting a little bit too excited. After all...
Agent X playing mind games all game. That's
right?
what it was.
He was waiting for it. Now, Chocobo. Chocobo has 2 kills. He got a little excited. 2 kills, 2 assists, and now he has 1 death. Only one with a death on his team. Allowing Morphling to get back into lane, fully healed with 500 health because of the Morbid Mask. And I heard a Panda ult going on. Let's see if anything's... No, I didn't. I'm just going crazy.
No, I heard it too. Like he went to
Oh, maybe he
cast and
faked
instead
it.
He faked it and threw a
He faked us
thunderclap.
right out. Now, there's only one lane with 2 heroes in it right now.
Yeah.
Everyone,
I mean, let's look at Alex farm, right? I mean, he's 78 last hits, top of the net worth, right?
He's crushing the net worth, but which team is winning on net worth, actually? Look at that.
2K.
The
2K
Aggies. Winning on net worth versus Alk feels very good. Winning a lane versus Lich feels very good. And, I mean, Tiny isn't snowballing, which just feels good enough for top lane. The top lane Panda, I might add, I think that's a little strange.
Yeah, I mean,
But it
we
makes
kind of talked
sense.
about it. The Brewmaster matchup's good against Tiny. Tiny can't reliably last hit. He's 0 armor hero. Your Panda just should be able to farm the lane pretty reliably.
Right, and it is. It's you know it's maybe it's not a traditional lane, putting Panda safe lane, but it makes sense. They want to win the lanes, as we discussed earlier. Winning the lanes, winning the game. That's what the meta is about. Right now, Void's about to win his lane. Oh, Chocobo just crushed Gem Boys with his ultimate. I think Gem Boys might have been healing in the jungle.
Radiant's middle tower.
No, he died right under
was,
tower.
Right below the tower. Yeah, he was right under tower, and I think he like dropped to 0 health, like fully Agimorph.
Chocobo's
to,
loving
heal
it.
up.
Chocobo's
And then
laughing
Chocobo
right
just
now.
Two-shot him.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, that's what we were talking about, right? You can't walk around on Morphling at low HPs against a Zeus, especially a Zeus this farmed.
Yeah, Zeus is able to just absolutely blow him up. He has to hold on to his HP, and it's going to slow down his farm. And if he doesn't like it, it doesn't matter. You know, you have to have more HP playing against a Zeus, and you have to farm slower. It's just the nature of how the game's going to play out. If you don't want to hold on to more HP, you're going to get punished.
Yep.
And look at this. They're already, speaking of messing up Morphling, there we go. Dewarding in the jungle. And then Phoenix is going to take off. Show up,
I mean,
cover some runes, but there's more
have
pressure on Morph.
Chrono Egg again, so maybe that's what their rotation they're trying to get is this Alchemist.
Keep it on cooldown. I love that. You talked about UC Davis's team fight, and they must have heard you because they're doing what they can to keep. Oh, Arcane Rune, he's for sure casting it. There's no way he doesn't cast it. And look at the positioning they have right here. 4 heroes. They know where Alchemist is. He's not in the mid lane. He's not in the bottom jungle. There's only one place he can be. Lack of ward sight. Alchemist has no clue what's going on.
Oh, they're going for the.
Oh no!
Are they seeing him? They have to see him. All right, okay,
There it
4
is.
heroes. They finally see him.
There it is. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, here comes the stun. He's buying himself some time, but I don't think he's going to get out. And he's finished. Chocobo stealing the kill with his ult, just like every Zeus player ever. However, leaving themselves open, bounty runes are going to get snagged up by your boys, the Cal Poly squad. At least the bottom ones.
Yeah, and even though Alchemist is dead, he does get the bonus gold from bounty runes. A lot of people.
Here, I heard a noise. There it is, bottom lane, Morphling. Bye-bye. Oh, and the Nightmare coming out just... Oh, no. That's the Mask of Madness. All of a sudden, you remember that the first Chronosphere didn't go so hot. Not enough damage in the meantime. Tiny's going to go down top, though. Chocobo takes him right out.
Yeah.
The first Chronosphere was a little slow because Faceless Void didn't do any damage. All of a sudden he gets Mask of Madness, that hero's on. Every time he casts Chronosphere, he becomes very deadly because of the increased attack speed. And Blink Dagger up on Panda too.
Yeah, I mean, UC Davis is kind of like knows right now that this is their timing. All of their heroes are online that need to be online, and there's not anything that Cal Poly can do to really fight them.
Alchemist is getting dove under tower. Tiny's going to show up. Tiny does not yet have his Blink Dagger. He's getting close, 600 gold off, but he can't really do anything. He needs to get in. He might try and throw a Morphling.
There's a great deep ward there. I mean, there's no way they're gonna get that gap. There's a deep ward here next to the shrine. To scout those TPs, and Davis just backs. They're like, yeah, we could probably take a fight, but why bother?
Yeah, why not? And I don't know if there's anything they can do. Just keep your map control. Shadowblade, very close to Shadowblade on Malibu. That'll be a Shadowblade Mask of Madness in the time that it takes Tiny to get his Blink Dagger. So when Tiny just starts getting online, Faceless Void is actually quite deadly. We talked about Faceless Void having stats to fight. Well, even with those items, he's going to be fight ready, whereas there's not really a right clicker out yet for Cal Poly. Morphling's quite squishy. Alchemist doesn't even want to be in a fight, and if he does go in a fight, I mean, he has to have his ult up. If he doesn't have his ult up, he just gets squished. So Faceless Void is the only hero that's... Oh, he does have his Radiance. Well, that's going to be great.
Yeah, he just picked up his Radiance, so his farm's going to accelerate pretty well. Smoke bottom from Davis here.
Speaking of accelerating, there's a lot of form mode to decelerate with the smoke play into the double Chronosphere. Morphling, no, he's gone. There's the egg in the Chronosphere. We talked about that. We talked about Lich. Is he going to make it away? No, he's not. Faceless Void is sleeping on the job after all that hard work, and it looks like Panda's going to go top lane. They're going to finish off the Bane. Bye-bye. 5 heroes on the Aggies. Didn't even use Overgrowth.
Yeah. I mean, that was such a great play by them. Davis know they've got Cal Poly's number right now, right? Like they're watching.
Oh, they're chasing. Yeah, they're tracking Alchemist's phone with his number on it. He has to run away. Look at this. Chase him across the whole map.
Yeah.
They did have some sight here. Yeah. Look how much more of the map. This is when we look at from this point of view of the Aggies, we can see everything here. We look at the point of view over here, they got nothing. They got creep vision. They got one poor sad ward out here, very deep in their jungle that's not doing anything because they can't get to it. That ward was placed. How long ago was that ward placed? Let's see. That ward's not even at half its duration, and already that it would be a dream for Cal Poly to make it to that ward, to be able to make it through their jungle deep enough to even use that ward's vision. That's how quick the Aggies came online, used their timings, and just took this game over.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, they took that bot tower, immediately smoke up, know exactly where Cal Poly is going to be farming, right? Like, there's only 2 places they don't have vision of that they could potentially be, right? So they smoke, immediately move to one of those 2 locations, find 2 heroes, easy kill. So they're really just playing this game extremely smart so far.
Yeah, and now look at how they're bottlenecking. They're taking over all the area. What's Alchemist supposed to do? Alchemist needs more time to farm. Now Alchemist's game is not over. He's still the top net worth by 2,000 or just under. But he can recover. Of any hero that can recover, Alchemist definitely can. He just has to play smart. Speaking of playing smart,
Faceless Void.
That's the last hit. That's the last hit that Alchemist is going to feel real good about. Not only is it a hero, not only does he have Grievel's Greed, but that's the deadliest. I was going to say Faceless Void would be on a wanted poster. But, I mean, he doesn't have a face, so, like, you couldn't put him on a wanted poster. But he is the most wanted. You know what I mean?
That would be an awkward wanted poster. Have you seen this man? And there's just nothing.
Yeah, it's just the Faceless Void zoomed in. Where is he? I can't see because he's dead. We'll check him out in a bit. All right, well.
That was a great fiend script, though. Cal Poly getting a little active, finally using some of their spells, I guess. So. Yeah,
learning from the Aggies who have been keeping their spells on cooldown and doing a good job. Early game on Bane, casting Fiend's Grip feels great. Like it's almost guaranteed to kill. It's just such a strong setup. Heroes die so fast. It's hard to deal with. I love it. It's just you should get a kill every time you cast it. Just about. Speaking of getting kills, Tiny is looking to cross the river. He wants to. Oh my God! Faceless Void. Did they see him go invisible? They have no clue. Tiny's looking for him.
On a Tiny. Tiny blinks forward though, but
Are we gonna see anything? No. It looks like both. Oh, they're gonna follow Void in. Here we go. Here we go. Who does he want? He wants the Morphling. And
the Shadow Blade's expired.
He can still get close. No, Morphling, no. Something's fishy. They saw him go invis. Please don't farm out where we don't have sight and you're in time-lapse range from shadows. There's a smoke. Smoke gets popped. They immediately know Faceless Void is creeping around.
I mean, Cal Poly has a good ward there on their shrine area, so they do see Davis once their smoke disappears. So I think there was a little unfortunate timing there. Their smoke was very close to expiring before Cal Poly popped their own. But
well, now yeah, check out this little cheeky play. Are they gonna set something up? They have to know the word's still there. They know something's up. The word's still there. They're looking for. Oh, they find him. Slowing down the Alchemist. There's the Alchemist ult though. Phoenix is gonna come in. There's a big sun about to come out. Phoenix doesn't want to get hit. There's the Sunrise. Phoenix is stunned. Phoenix is then put to sleep. And Panda, or Stone Man's flying around in the air. A boulder's thrown at Lich. It looks like they're going to throw a rock at Lich, but the Rock Man's going to throw some rocks at them and stun him. Faceless Void shows up. Chronosphere on 1. Just kidding, it's 2. Tiny comes back down, throws someone up. Lich gets taken out on the side, and then Tiny gets chased into his base and squished. Morphling, where were you? Hitting creeps mid.
Yeah, I mean, this Morphling can't fight, right? He's so mismatched as far as...
It looks like he might be about to get into a fight. A level 12 Phoenix is sneaking up on him with a Spirit Vessel. Now, is there any special interaction between Spirit Vessel and how Morphling morphs his HP? Oh, here we go, stealing some spells. No one can attack anyone. There's the egg and the Overgrowth. Back to full health, which is 500. Morphling's going to try and go put all his stats into Strength. Turn into Phoenix, so he looks good. Turn back into a Waterman. Just play around with the elements.
That was a good play.
I like it. Icarus Dive, run away. Phoenix already used Icarus Dive. Phoenix has no mobility. Without Icarus Dive, you can just leave whenever. I mean, although, Ricky, tell me you weren't excited to see a Phoenix versus Phoenix, both of them debuffed by Fire Spirits fight, where no one can hit each other.
Oh, I mean, watching those birds fight out, this is what Dota's all about.
Exactly. It's, well, Faceless Void is angry. He wants to hunt, but he doesn't have Chronosphere. He's just playing very aggressive. He should watch out.
Hey, Mags finished up on Zeus too. I mean, that just got dropped off a few moments ago.
Nice. So that is another global synergy with Chronosphere. Very powerful Chronosphere.
And we got Tree Protector going the Meteor Hammer.
Is this a Meteor Hammer build game when you're this far ahead?
No.
He doesn't have towers to hit. What's he supposed to do? Take your
I think he goes
tier
Blink
4?
Dagger in a game like this, but
I agree. You think he's being a little cheeky here? Zeus D-Ward. Here we go. There's a fight. Fiend's Grip on the tree of all people. The Nimbus is going to try and interrupt it, but it hits the wrong target. Bane gets taken out, but not after Tree dies. Sunray is going to push Tiny out, who gets exploded. Malibu, very low HP, gets dusted, trying to run away invisible, but he's being chased down, burned down by the Radiant. Speaking of burns, Phoenix jumps in, but doesn't really accomplish much, except for set Panda up to squish. Panda's asleep on the job. Bane is going to back up with his team. Alchemist really wants to go hit creeps. He doesn't know what to do. Please, guys, is it safe? And he's going to walk into the jungle. Little does he know he might be trailing the enemy team.
Dude, this Panda has almost Blink Radiance.
Radiance versus Radiance fight. 23 minutes in. How's Panda doing on the net worth? Well, he's taking slot 2 or slot 3 of the top 4. 3 of the top 4 being on his team. Zeus and Faceless Void as well. What is Alchemist doing with this farm? He's going for a Manta style. So that's so he can use Radiance to farm with his illusions, isn't it?
Not necessarily. There's a lot of different interactions here. So Alchemist, a lot of people first rush Spirit Vessel, right, against Alchemist. You can use your ult to purge Spirit Vessel, but you can also use Manta to purge Spirit Vessel. So you have 2 different ways of removing it from your hero.
And why do you want? You want to purge Spirit Vessel because Alchemist relies on his very high HP regen, and Spirit Vessel just crushes the HP regen.
Yeah. After they removed the health gain from his ult and just increased his regen, it makes the heroes substantially worse. Right? You get Spirit Vessel, then essentially half your ultimate is nullified. So it's a great first item pickup here from the Phoenix, and I think Alchemist knows that, so he's itemizing. I mean, it does amplify his farm, right? Like always, going Manta on Alchemist is usually pretty much the play anyway, but it's actually better than you would think. Morphling top gets chronoed.
Bye bye. Faceless Void boarded up and took him out. Well, are there any other key pickups, you know, that are maybe specifically to counter just one hero this game that we're seeing?
I
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
think we might see an Aeon disc.
Agent X gonna get exploded. He drops the ult, but he gets taken out. In the meanwhile, there's the Spirit Vessel on Alchemist, who's also getting Sunrayed and getting Nimbus. Everything's getting thrown at him. Is he gonna be able to make it away? He has a Shrine and a Smoke. Tiny. Tiny still has his combo. Catches the
Oh,
Cobalt.
he misses the Avalanche.
Tiny stuns himself in Egg, or rather Alchemist stuns himself in Egg. There's the pop. Alchemist very low, no ult. Tiny throws the Bane. They're still in the Nimbus. B-Freak is just going to stand on top of them. And
Chocobo
his
shows up and
roots
gets
share
two
an
kills.
Earth with the Cal Poly's team, as they are now 6 feet under.
Gosh.
In the
So
meantime,
that is a pretty big misplayed fight right there.
what happened that went so horribly wrong and led to the situation where Faceless Void is beating down a tower at 25 minutes?
Well, I think the fight actually goes pretty well for Cal Poly. If they get the Avalanche and Concoction onto the Phoenix dies, Alk doesn't stun himself, Brewmaster doesn't get a free kill on Alk. Like, there's so many things that went wrong in that fight.
That Phoenix has so many teammates to help him set up Egg, and that fight all he needed was Tiny to use his blink and Alchemist to stun himself. He just needed the other team to set it up for him.
I'll sleep on the Brewmaster.
Ooh, he's not in a good spot. He could get tossed back here. Tiny, you're gonna throw him back to Bane underneath tower. There it is. Agent X, be careful. Okay.
They don't
And Panda gets taken out.
Middle tower has fallen.
Well, I get
here
scared for
comes
Agent
Ralph.
X because he's been dying so much this game. Now, they're going to be able to hold, it looks like. Yeah. Aggies
Yeah.
are going to back up. So are Aggies, do you think they're going to wait for Roshan, or do you think they're going to keep the pressure up? They have to wait for ults for sure. But they're not too far off.
Dire does not take Roche very quickly.
Yeah. And time they
So
spend
I don't
fighting
know.
Roche is maybe time they're not spending stopping Alchemist from farming.
You lose a lot of map control if you're Dire here and you go for
Faceless
Roche.
Void hunting though. There it is with the Nimbus.
Wow.
Look at it right on the edge. Zeus shows
That's a
up.
great
Round
kill.
2 of Lightning Bolts. There's a Sunray. Tree was there with the Meteor Hammer. Very funny Tree.
Yeah, I think if you're B-Freak this game and you do go Meteor Hammer, you don't sit with your team ever. You just need to go, like, he should be pushing this bot, he should be sitting bot lane, Invis, just Meteor Hammering the lane. I mean,
What about the fact that they picked Faceless Void solely to set up Meteor Hammer combo?
you
Think
know
about
what?
that. Maybe that's the strategy.
You are thinking in 2013, or in 30.
2013.
2013?
The old
What?
2013 Meteor
We're
Hammer.
in 3018 right now, is what you're thinking.
Thank you very much. Well,
Yeah.
now on the back foot, Cal Poly has to defend a base. 4 to 25.
17,000 gold behind, too.
Mhm.
I mean, you're the enemy Phoenix. The 4 position Phoenix is above your Morphling. Morphling picked up a mana style immediately.
Yep. Now, what's he need that for? Is he gonna get Soul Vesseled?
For him, it's Spirit Vessel, it's the Drunken Haze, it's the Fire Spirits. Like, there is a lot of stuff you need to get rid of. It's kind of interesting he wouldn't just go for a Black King bar, picking up like a BKB and maybe a damage item might be the way to go, and just go fighting build. But
Speaking of
mid.
fights, there's a smoke. It looks like we're gonna see a wraparound coming on here. Not very much vision from both teams. However, there is a tree regrowth and a Phoenix melted by ice. Tree's gonna get caught out. He's gonna get chopped down. Did Tiny even get to use his combo? Tiny didn't even get to use his combo. This Tiny has not had a chance to really play Tiny yet this game.
no,
He's been throwing people around and getting thrown around, but he hasn't been giving people the 1-2. Even with the 2 players getting taken out, Panda's still playing very aggressively, and so is Void. They know that they can still get a kill with both their ults down here if they find someone. Hoping Alchemist might get greedy and leave the farm top for his teammates.
there's a Lincoln Sphere on Faceless. That's an amazing pickup this game. I mean, the big thing you have to be careful of is the Unstable Concoction at level 20, right? That becomes a huge deal, so you actually have to block that.
Yeah.
As well as Fiend's Grip. And potentially the shotgun combo if he opts to go for shotgun late game. I think he's going to be opting for the kind of a fighting build with Morphling, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
he's going for the butterfly rather than the E-Blade. Shotgun being the E-Blade into the adaptive strike, 1-2 punch. I think they have enough. They have enough 1-2 from Tiny from his combo.
Yep.
So yeah, Morphling can go more of a carry build. And how's Lich? What do you think of the Glimmer Cape on Lich? Is that a good pickup? Little poor position 5, grabs a Glimmer Cape. Maybe he can save someone's life even though they're against a Zeus that can reveal Invis.
Yeah, I think for when you're playing Lich, there's a few items that are kind of like just good in almost any game. And you're kind of like a pretty poor hero most of the time, so you might as well just pick them up.
Yeah.
Glimmer Cape being one of them, and like a Force Staff being the other. I think this game, Force Staff isn't amazing because of Chrono, but it is extremely good against Nimbus. It's really good against Egg. So I'm kind of surprised it didn't go Force Staff. I think they'll probably.
Oh, Tree gets caught out again
in
though.
the range there.
Nimbus breaks the Fiend's grip and does quite a lot of damage to Bane, but Tree's the one that goes down and Bane can just walk away.
Yeah.
Look at this.
I think we talked about that, the instant cancel with Nimbus, which is good, but he just walked barely in the sentry range there, and they caught him with the Fiend's grip. So good play there by Cal Poly.
Yep, a little bit aggressive by Tree, who has a Meteor Hammer, but no towers to actually hunt. Now, Morphling's making progress, but both the Morphling and the Alchemist kind of want a bit more time to farm, do you think? Or do you think Alchemist is fight ready? It looks like he wants to go Octarine. Now, is Octarine a fighting item or a farming item? Or both?
It's a little bit of both, right? It reduces the cooldown on your ult and your Mantis style, which is really huge. Your ultimate having almost like an 80% uptime, essentially with Octarine, and then your Mantis style illusions being up, just that much more often to push lanes. So it gives you the ability to not only farm faster, but just apply more map pressure. Because while your illusions are pushing side lanes, if you're Davis, you have to deal with them. So
yeah,
overall, I think it's gonna just buy space and time for Cal Poly.
Yeah, the illusions have the Radiance Burn, as well as he'll have them out more often. His illusions benefit from his ult, and his ult, the longer the uptime on the ult, of course, the longer the uptime on Alchemist, essentially, because he needs that to live and to fight. Look how fast
Davis is doing Roche.
Yeah,
now.
look how fast they're doing it too. He's just getting absolutely crushed. Melted down in the sun, right? Malibu's going to take it. Malibu is very hard to deal with now. Not only does he have the Lincoln Sphere we talked about, look at that Monkey King bar and Aegis. They're just going right in. They're trying to end it right now.
I think he saw the talisman on Morphling maybe,
and didn't know no shotgun.
Yeah, and when you see the Mantis style, you're like, all right, he's going fighting build, so you might see the evasion late game. I think initially you're building it because of the Radiance, right? But now it's even more value because your Morphling is going a Butterfly.
Yeah, so not only is he dealing with Radiance, he's dealing with Butterfly. He's countering 2 items on their top 2 farmed core with 1 item. How do you... That's such a very easy decision for him to make.
Yep, and picking damage items on Faceless Void is pretty safe usually because you just chrono in the middle of a fight.
Yeah, you're gonna get some
pretty
damage.
safe unless there's a lot of counter initiation, and there just isn't from Cal Poly, right? So he's got to feel pretty safe just going in, chronoing, getting a couple kills.
There's the chrono right there inside tower range. He's gonna get stunned. Tiny's gonna get his combo off, but Lich is gonna fall. Bane is gonna fall. Trian would have hit the Meteor Hammer, but it's so late that they don't even need it. Egg in the background, very, very safe, hitting no one. Panda's just going to hold off the enemy team, standing up front. There's the Lincoln Sphere. He'll bounce the ult around a little bit, playing volleyball with Lich, but in the meantime, rather than beating the volleyball around, they're beating down a barracks, but there's a double stun, cannot be disjoined. Shiva's guard on his support goes and slows everyone with Icarus Dive. Nimbus is doing a ton of damage to these poor guys fighting underneath it. That's definitely not how you deal with it. Maybe we're going to get the Meteor Hammer! No, not quite. Alchemist almost are able to make it away. He's regenning up in the sky. The Davis team is going to back off and take the real objectives, the barracks. Do they stay for more?
I think so.
Yeah, it looks like Faceless Void has an agenda. He has somewhere to be. Panda ult's going to go down. They might have to back out now. Aegis has not been used. Phoenix is very low. Stunned. Panda's stunned, but he's sending the Nimbus where he's safe. Here we go. Another stun coming on an Alchemist, but you know what's going down? His second lane of racks. Faceless Void calls out jungling. There's a third stun. Alchemist taking advantage of the cooldown reduction. Panda's getting caught out, getting healed up by the Sunray. They might be able to take out the Morphling. Morphling gets hit by the Nimbus. What a nuisance that spell has been. Morphling is taken down, does not... Oh, Panda does fall too. However, following that up, Chocobo gets another kill. What else is new? Faceless Void's going to beat up towers. He has something to do, and Alchemist, desperately trying to defend his base, calls good game.
Lincoln Sphere, good item. Like I said, all you have to do is stop these unstable concoctions going into the mid game, and they pick up 2 Lincoln Spheres on Zeus and Void and just go straight into high ground.
Yeah, that was just very well played, very disciplined. It was a great game. It's something that we expect to see from a team like the Aggies. Now, how does it feel to see your boys go down there? Do you have hope in them? Does that hurt a little bit more because you're from the school? Tell me how you're feeling about that game.
I mean, I can't say I didn't think Aggies was going to win that game. I think the draft was just better. So it hurts. It hurts watching my boys fall in game one. We'll see what they do game two, but
Do you think they
yeah, I
have what
mean
it takes in
Aggies.
game two, or do you think the Aggies are too much? They're too well practiced.
I mean, it looks like Aggies is just a little bit more experienced as a team.
For sure,
So
yeah, making it to land
yeah,
finals and everything, they're a pretty big deal.
yeah, they're
Um,
not pushovers by any means.
but
I
how do you
mean,
feel about Cal Poly though? Like overall as a team, how do you think? Do you think they have what it takes to make a playoff run this year after that performance, or
um,
do you think they might have to take advantage of the two-season split and really strive for some improvement? Every team can improve, but do you think they might they still have a bit of ways to go?
yeah, I think they can do it. They have a little bit of things to focus
What
on,
was their
but
weakness, do you think, there? What was the main thing, do you think? Was it the teamwork or the draft or the
I think
execution?
it's I think it's just the draft.
Yeah. The team fight of the
You're
Aggies was just so perfect. It was so easy to pull
yeah,
off.
like your cores are just so mismatched. Like picking Morph into that lineup is just like death. So
Right? He doesn't
I,
Morph couldn't even deal with Nimbus, let alone the egg.
yeah, and then if you get chronoed, you just die. So
Yeah.
there's just like so much coming from the Aggies there to deal with the Morphling, and then you're just relying on an alchemist to carry you through the whole game.
Mhm.
And with that much team fight, there it's just not possible,
All right.
no matter
Well,
how farmed you are.
yeah, I think you put that extremely well. I agree completely. We're going to take a very quick break and we'll be back for game two of potentially a game three series between Ricky's boys and the Aggies. Stay tuned.
Your hands together for a good friend Rocket Man and his blend of Superstar and the Storm.